Anna Winter, look, here it comes. She doesn't smile, so I've got to give it the mysterious woman. Yeah. Just passing a prison here. The prison on the right. It has a little farm and all, and it also has a big sign outside every so often saying, get your car washed and cleaned. and you can pull in there and have your car washed and cleaned. They also have a little cafe, actually. Let me just be a bit more frank with you. They have a little cafe which the prisoners run, and it's lovely. I've been in there several times, you know, for tea and a scone and a chat with the inmates. It's a very Irish thing, okay. It's a lovely evening. Managed to get away from the worst elements of the storm. It's been windy for a few days. It's calmed down today. Well, here we are. Sat on my sofa here in the sitting room with my new hairstyle. I'm very pleased with it. Number one, because it is extremely manageable. Okay. Paul, my hairdresser, gorgeous Paul, thinned it out, and he thinned my hair out in a very unusual way. And when I said to him, Paul, what is that you're doing there? He said, when I trained as a hairdresser, he said, this was something that was taught to me. I said, okay, right. So he was basically lifting layers like this, right? And going in and literally pulling little bits out, but not pulling, but, you know, cutting little bits out quite near the scalp. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. And I was a wee bit unsure at the time, you know, I thought, oh, okay, you know, yeah, you know what you're doing, I hope. But he obviously did, because the general problem with my hair is that it was always fairly thick. Now, not kind of thick hair as such, but I had lots of it, and as it got grey, it became a bit more dry, if you like. And I've never really used hair conditioner. I've only ever used shampoo, you know, and so it started to kind of bush out a bit. Made me look a bit wild. Yeah, well, I could be a bit wild, given the right opportunity. But yeah, I think it made me look a bit wild. It didn't really flatter my face. I mean, I have a face with kind of fairly strong features, you know. I suppose it would be described generally as, like, you know, a handsome face, but not necessarily, you know, a beautiful face or anything like that. So I think, like, when it comes to hairstyles, you know, you have to either be really out there and say, oh, I don't really give two hoots what my face looks like. This is the hairstyle I want. Or you can go for like an era thing. And someone mentioned in the comments yesterday, you know, when I posted that wee picked up myself and said I'd been to the hairdressers and said, oh, it's a kind of roaring 20s look. You're spot on. You're spot on. One of my favourite periods in time. Not so much historically, but definitely in terms of dress, you know, fashion, hairstyles, music, general flamboyance, and, you know, couldn't care less. And of course, that period in time came after World War I, when, you know, just people were looking for some kind of relief from the horrors of it all. Like, I hadn't realised, it was only really through doing research that I realised that there was 9 million young men killed in World War I. My great-uncle Henry was one of them, and his body was never found. He was just blown to smithereens, you know. And I get quite cross on these, you know, memorial days, you know, oh, they sacrificed their lives. They did not. Nobody goes and sacrifices their life for some politicians who've mucked the whole thing up. That's how I see war, okay? Anyway, so this is in the grounds of Kilronan Castle. It's pretty well hidden because not a lot of people who are passing through as tourists, for example, ever get to see this place. There's the most incredible enchantment about it. It's just been left abandoned to nature, and nature seems to have embraced it. Look at this. Beautiful. All the little nooks and crannies, and all the stones which are ancient. It's just started to rain. I stand under this ivy here. And the moss growing over the stones. The herb Robert growing out from between them. And each stone is quite unique. It's limestone. And some of it looks as though it has faces in it. I bet you'd like to see inside. Okay, let's go around. There's the old fireplace in there. Oh, Patsy's running around, going a little bit wild. She's picking up all kinds of energies, I think. So this would have been the door. Come on, Pats. Come on. Come on. That's it. course the roof is gone. There would have been a thatched roof on this, I think. This would have been a little cupboard built into the wall. It's quite Gothic. And here's another fireplace. There's an ash tree growing out of it. And then in here, in this little outshot, this would have housed a little bed, you see? Little window. I've come down here before at night. Well, dusk really. And stayed for a while. And there's such a strange energy here. Not quite of this world. And it's sort of rounded, this building, it's not flat fronted. Huge sycamore trees up there. And years ago, I came down here with my eldest grandsons when they were just little cubs. And we climbed up there from the back of the woodland. And we looked down the chimney. The chimney's all covered with ivy now. Let's go back outside. The castle, of course, is now a hotel, a rather lovely hotel, one of my favourite places. And this would have been, I think, one of the entrances to the castle. You can just see the porticos up there, the Greek columns. And it's all been gated now. But isn't that one of the loveliest little houses you ever have seen? Hmm? Patsy, come on. Let's just walk up as far as here. I'm just on my way back from the post office, you see. I come along this road and it's lovely, you know, when I bring Patsy with me, because then it encourages me to stop and take her for a little jaunt, which I enjoy as much as she does. She loves to have a sniff around, because at night time, of course, there would be lots of wild animals in and around here. Loch Mila is just over there. And these signs, it's part of the Miners' Way, so they're public walkways. It's such a lovely afternoon. Pat, come on. Oh, actually, what we'll do is we'll walk up just to the top here. You can see the reflection of the lake over there. And where trees have come down and stuff. Well, the weather is very changeable today. I've got my washing in and I'm drying it over here. I'm going to light the stove shortly because it's actually got really cold. Well, not really cold, but cold. I feel like putting a jumper on over the top of this. So, I want to thank you all for your considerate responses to my plan to have a Monday rant, and I'm looking forward to the Monday rant. It's going to be me letting off a bit of steam on a subject or maybe multiple subjects, you know. I am inclined to kind of go from, you know, go with a lot of ease from one subject into another, you know. But also I think, you know, it's kind of a way of being a voice for many of you. Because I did read in the comments, and in fact these comments keep coming up and up again, you know, the same theme. Something to the effect of, well, I live on my own and I feel a little bit isolated in my community because of the views that I hold, and you know, it's, you know, that kind of a thing. Well, of course I live on my own. I've never felt isolated from my community because, to be honest, like, you got to share your time with people who at least are on the same wavelength as you. And all my neighbours are lovely. They're brilliant neighbours, and I've got lots and lots of friends around. But I think there's maybe only one other person besides my children that I would openly sort of discuss things with. So yeah, it's a bit it's something else to be coming onto the world stage here on the internet and voicing opinions and having discussions. But it's very healthy. It's a very healthy thing to do. But you have to have, like, what I would refer to as a safe space. You don't want to be in a place where you're going to be ridiculed and mocked and, oh, you've got a tinfoil hat on, oh, that's a conspiracy theory. You know, that kind of stuff. Because that can then make you question yourself, and it sort of erodes your confidence, and it kind of creates potholes in your beautiful human journey. Yeah. Anyway. So yeah, I will be voicing things that the majority of people will not particularly agree with. I'm not really into conspiracy theories, though, to be honest. I have questions. And it is ironic and somewhat sad that in this so-called liberated world, this democratic West that we live in, to have a question is to be a conspiracy theorist. Oh yes, we know where you're coming from. I mean, bollocksology at its best, wouldn't you say? Anyway, that's my little video for today, and I'm going to come back at you on Monday, I'd say, because today's Thursday, tomorrow's Friday. I'm going to be working in the woodland tomorrow, as long as the weather is okay. And that's going to be, well, not quite an all-day job, but it feels like an all-day job. Saturday, Sunday, don't quite know what's happening, but I'll be all geared up for Monday. So, see you then. And blessings to you all. Yeah, that's important. Because you know something? The energy that's coming through now is incredible. It really is. It's the energy of good. It's the energy of the goddess. It's the energy of the divine. It's the energy of whatever it is you hold sacred to your heart. It's that kind of energy. Do you feel it? Blessings. So I'm sat here at my desk. There's the washing outside, drying in the beautiful wind. And I'm posting out some books. I want to apologise to those of you who ordered books over the past few days because they're a little bit late in going out. I did promise them to go out on Monday, forgetting that Monday was a bank holiday. And then, going to post on Tuesday, but I got caught up with other things. So anyway, they're being posted today. Can you see the apples on the trees there? Yeah, look at that.